Hey there, it's Jen from Educate to Dominate with Marty. And Jen, welcome to my casa. So today is the very first Juicing with Jen. And I wanted to talk about a couple of things really quick. So some people are probably wondering why I decided that I wanted to do Juicing with Jen. Well, as part of Educate to Dominate, our whole function and our intent is to be able to educate people how to find a better way of living, a healthier way of living. And really where we came from with all of this was more because of me than what it was Marty, but because Marty's an amazing husband and has always been very supportive of getting me healthy and keeping me healthy. He really has joined in on the journey, and he's my researcher all the way through. So a little bit about the history behind why I wanted to do Juicing with Jen was because unfortunately I've been unhealthy the majority of my life. I was born with clubbed legs. When I was 5 years old, one of my kidneys decided that it wasn't going to function properly and shut down, and it would kind of, go in and out over the years. And then I was healthy for many, many years through my teens. I was healthy, and then when I was about 27, 28 years old, I started having kidney problems again. And during that time, I was going to see a doctor, was, fighting with the possibilities of having to go on to dialysis because my kidneys were acting up. And one of the things that my doctor told me to do was to look into juicing. And I did. And so at the time, the Juice Man was really big. So I went out and bought a juicing machine and didn't really have any information on what to do. I was following some of the recipes that were there. And juiced for several years. My son Desmond was fantastic. He was really young at the time and really loved coming up and waking up every morning and making juices for me. And the kids would make different juices and experiment. And sometimes I honestly feel like he was trying to torture me because some of the stuff that he put together was just horrific. But I tried it because I wasn't going to let money go to waste or anything like that. And then as I got better, I quit juicing. And then a few years later, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And then after my thyroid cancer went into remission, I was diagnosed with throat and esophageal and lung cancer. And at that point, I was told, because of my esophagus and trachea, and I was having all kinds of problems there, that I was put onto a liquid diet. So back to juicing I went. So that was a different journey for me, though. It was completely different from when I had done things with my kidney issues. And I started learning different recipes that I could use. And at that point, because of what was going on with my throat and me not being able to eat solid foods and things like that, I was purely dependent on a juicing machine and soft foods and things like that. And I'll talk more about that later as we do other segments of Educate to Dominate, but I wanted to give you a little bit of history as to why the juicing. So, as I was battling my cancer, I did juice for about 1.5 years straight, and that was the main part of my diet. And when I got better, once again, I quit juicing. And then I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago. They were giving them some information because they're battling cancer, and I suggested that they start juicing. And one of the questions that they presented to me was, why did you quit juicing? And it got me to thinking, I've always been healthy when I was juicing, and every time I stop juicing, I start to get unhealthy again. And so maybe this is something that I needed to go back to. So in a way to hold myself accountable, I decided, you know what? Let me start a Juicing with Jen show, so that I could share the wonderful recipes that I've learned over the years. I could learn about new things. I'd like to bring in a nutritionist and do interviews and things like that, and that'll all be down the road. So, so that's just a little bit about why I decided to do Juicing with Jen. So I'm really excited about the journey that we're going to be going on. I just ordered a new juicer because my old one is back in Albuquerque. I got a new one. It's a Mueller Juice Max Pro. It's a cold press juicer. And I'll talk more about the different types of juicers and what is great about each different style of juicer in the upcoming episodes that we're going to do. But today I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and start some juice with you. Today's episode is going to be really short just because it's the new one. I haven't really gotten a lot of questions from people about things that they want to talk about yet. But things that I intend on covering is what are the different types of juicers that are out there, because there are so many different types. Is there one that's gonna be better than another? So is a cold press better than like a bullet or than a Nutrimix or something like that? Or the juice man that I used for so many years. Why did I order this particular juicer? Because, you know, this one, like I said, I'll go into more detail later on, but it gets about 60% more juice out of there, and you're able to store it longer in the refrigerator. So if you have a crazy busy schedule like I do, that you'll be able to store some juice and snag it the next morning. So one of the things that I can tell you about juicing, just from the get-go, is that you can juice anytime that you want to. You can drink the juice anytime during the day, but it is best for you to do it on an empty stomach. One of the reasons that our doctors, or my doctors, always told me to juice was because I needed to have the nutrients of the plants. And even in eating soft foods, your body doesn't process the nutrients the same as it would if you were, if I was eating those solid foods, because the way the body processes it. And again, we'll get into more detail about that kind of stuff later on. I'd like to bring in, you know, a couple of professional doctors and nutritionists and do some interviews. So that's gonna be more of what this segment is gonna be about. It's not gonna be just me all the time. It's not gonna be just me making juices. I really am looking to you all to find out what questions you have, because I know I had a ton. And as we go on, I will answer the questions that I had myself, and I'm really looking to you to share your questions with me so that I can give you the answers, and kind of spark my memory as to what's going on. So this will be the first time that I've used this particular juicer. Like I said, I just received it today. I already washed it, dried it, got it all set up, and like I said in one of the other segments, I will go through what you know, how to put it together, what it does, why it works differently than everything else. But today I'm just gonna do a quick celery, carrot, and orange juice mix. And then I'm just gonna do a couple of pieces. I'm not gonna like make you guys go through the entire juicing process with me. Because this is actually supposed to be one of the quieter juicers, but it's kind of loud. And then I'm gonna share with you guys, I was talking about earlier about these lemons that were grown in California. I've never seen lemons this large. And like I said in the video asking everybody to come to today's video, is that one of my coworkers, I mean, we're in California, there's orange trees and lemon trees everywhere. And normally when I get them, they're normal lemon size, right? So I come into the office one day and there's this bag of what I thought were grapefruit or something like that. So I pick it up and I'm looking at it and I was like, it looks like a lemon. It's not round. Well, this one's kind of round like a grapefruit, so that's kind of confusing. But this one kind of has that lemon shape. It's just a ginormous lemon. And so we're gonna cut them open and see how juicy they are or are not. Either way, these bad boys are gonna become some great lemonade. So first, let's just go ahead and get started with the celery. So turned it on. And this is a slow press juicer. So you can tell it's not as loud as some of them are. And it's got a larger fuselage that you can put everything into. And one of the reasons that I wanted this one was because it does a great job of really getting all of the liquid out of there. So like I said, you get about 60% more juice. And I'll double check those stats to make sure that I'm giving you the right amount. But from what I remember when I was ordering it, that's what it had said. So last one here. So celery juice is supposed to be a great daily green juice. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it because as you can see, I've got already a good little bit of juice here. So it doesn't take a lot. If it was gonna be just me, then I could drink just that. And this has a little bit of, it has a little screen spout thing so that if for some reason some of the pulp does get into here, that you're not getting as much of it. So now obviously I could make more. Normally I would want a full glass of this, but celery juice, carrots, and a little bit of orange. Very good, no pulp in it. It did a great job of getting all of the dry. So So you can see here, it's not all moist, didn't shoot everywhere. It is more of a cold press. This is gonna be great for wheatgrass, other hard to juice vegetables, some leafy greens and some herbs. We'll go into more details and recipes later on, but for now, that's gonna be the gist of the juice. But as promised, let's talk about these lemons. There's one. And they look like they're pretty juicy. I mean, the rind of it is really thick there. Great smell. So I know that most juicers, you're not supposed to put anything that has any rinds in it. So like your oranges and your lemons and things like that, you're gonna wanna peel first. But look at that lemon, isn't that crazy? So this is gonna become lemonade. So again, I thank you guys for joining me. This is the very first episode. The next episode, I will talk about a specific type of juice. I'll have a recipe and talk about the benefits of that juice and how it's going to help people dealing with different ailments. I think the first one that I'm gonna do is gonna be focused on a good cancer juice, because that was something that I used, and a good juice for people with epilepsy. So if you haven't already gone to our page, so you know some of the things that we want to talk about during Educate to Dominate with Marty and Jen is epilepsy, cancer, autism, lupus, anxiety. Unfortunately, these are all things that have affected our family personally, as well as kidney issues, because I struggled with those as well. You know, so I figure instead of dwelling on the fact that I've had a very unhealthy life and I've got several family members that are not very healthy, that make the best of it and share how it is that I've been able to stay on this planet for as long as I have and been able to bounce back from things that doctors thought that I never would. And like I said, we'll talk more about some of that stuff later on. So for now, I thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you down the road with Educate to Dominate with Marty and Jen. So thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.